All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Sports Fan Talk. I am your humble host, Big G.
It's your boy, Raider Mike.
I'm the young architect tuning in once again.
All right, tonight we got a little nice action-packed show for everybody. We got some hot topics, and the hottest topic of them all right now is the women's Ncaa tournament. And we had a nice little game for the Final Fours, man, but tonight it was a big win for LSU. They call it an upset, but if you watch the game, it didn't look like it. So, Architect, what you think about the game, man? We can talk a little bit about the Final Four too, since we didn't have a show if you want, or you can just go right into the LSU shellac.
Before I get into my Tigers, I'll go ahead and talk about that good old Final Four women's, man. Truth be told, all right, it was some good. You're gonna hear me say this again, but that girl Caitlin Clark, man, she a bucket. You know what I'm saying? They're saying that she got a little cocky playing against South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? She on herself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She dropped 41. I mean, it's only fair. You feel me? But dropping 41 on a team that what I'm saying that's number one seed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I coming into this final game, I was like, they're gonna put up a fight against LSU. You know what I'm saying? Before looking at it, and then looking at LSU and Virginia Tech, I was like, I'm like, all right, cool. Alexis Morris, my girl Angel Reese. I was looking to see Flau'jae Johnson try to put up something big, but she only had 7 points in 36 minutes playing against Virginia Tech. But hey, again, LSU in that fourth quarter, man, outscored them 29-13. You know what I'm saying? So you want to talk about a team that was riding high. But all around, you know what I'm saying, good Final Four. But let's get to the bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm an LSU fan. So I was watching this game a little closer than usual. You feel me? So the big one for me, I was like, okay, let's see what Caitlin Clark and all them folks over there in Iowa gonna do when they play against a little color, a lot of color. You know what I'm saying? What's the name? Jasmine Carson, man. She plays for LSU. I think in the first half she did not miss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Did not miss. And I was in there like, damn. I was like, everybody was hyping up.
She was the point guard, right?
Yeah. She was a guard, yeah. But I'm like, shit, like everybody hyping up Caitlin Clark and goddamn Jasmine, he was over there lighting them up. You know what I'm saying? It seems like she couldn't miss worth of nothing. If I'm not mistaken, I think she shot 85% from three and 87% from the field, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Caitlin Clark still did her thing. She dropped 30 and 35, which is kind of expected because Caitlin Clark, like I said, she is a bucket. She is a bucket getter. You know what I'm saying? Something that I don't even necessarily watch women's basketball all the time. But when I first caught wind of her, I was like, okay, let me tune in, see what's up. She got clipped, man. She's the real deal. But the girls at LSU, man, is different. You know what I mean? Like I said, Jasmine Carson. You look at Alexis Morris again with 21 and 9. You got Flau'jae. She didn't have the best of nights, but she did what she needed to do: 10 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Angel Reese, again, she had a double-double, 15 and 10. And then Ladija Williams coming in with 20. You know what I'm saying? It's just like those premier athletes. It's like back in the day when you ever seen that movie Glory Road?
Yeah.
Was that the basketball movie?
Yeah.
Basketball movie where they had the all black starting five against like the all white Kentucky or whatever. Yeah. Kind of wonder, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You go up against a team full of, you know what I'm saying, a little melanin. You may get yours, but they're gonna show up and show out, and that's exactly what LSU did. I mean, you look at it, 102-85, the ending score, man. I mean, if you can just look at it coming out of the half, you kind of had a good feeling that LSU was going to win, even though they did have a lackluster third quarter. But it was just like, it seems like the better team showed up. You know what I'm saying? Iowa may have had one better player, but LSU definitely, I would say, had the better team.
Yeah. definitely. But even with that, I don't know. It looked like LSU was playing with vengeance in their heart, man. There was something going on to where a lot of people was feeling a certain type of way. Even come to find out about Caitlin doing that you can't see me face that
Yeah,
she did.
against South Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah. And she did it against Louisville also. So she
yeah.
was feeling herself a lot. So I think a lot of those girls, I'll take it. I like that when people look at something as a challenge and they rise to the occasion rather than cowering
Mm-hmm.
down and being like, oh, she's too much. Because if you look, that first quarter, man, against LSU, Caitlin
Hard.
came out, boy, she was
Yeah.
throwing off them picks, just dropping them.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, shit. But LSU never backed down. You know what I mean? LSU had bigs. Like you said, what's her
Mm-hmm.
name? Angel Reese.
Angel
That girl,
Reese. Yeah.
that girl's down low, just like you can't handle me. And they got Iowa's big girls into trouble real fast. So they kept pounding it. And they did what they had to do. And Mulkey, I forget who she used to coach for at first. That's why I wish Raider Lady was here. So I know Mulkey, the head coach for LSU, she's a legend in the women's game. And
Mm-hmm.
she had them girls playing. They was like just gonna keep on pounding down low. And basically we're gonna play force them to play us. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to break their will. And in the end, I think that's what they did, man. They just
Yep.
war of attrition and they won. And what can you say about that? What do you say about it, Raider Mike?
I mean, I picked LSU to win this game. I mean, after South Carolina, South Carolina played sloppy at the end of that game. There's no way they should have lost, but they wasn't hitting shots. They were missing shots. They were turning. The main thing that was turnovers. That's why. And then the Caitlin Clark girl is, yeah, she's good. She's good. But I just knew that LSU was going to play some defense. I knew she was going to get some points, but I knew LSU was going to play defense and win this game. Like you said, it's going to force them to play their game. I really didn't watch that much of that game. I was out, but I did really watch the Friday's game. That one, I was watching that game, watched South Carolina give that up, but I'll give it all to LSU because that coach was talking. She fired up and motivated that team to go out there and do what they had to do. Because I felt that the better matchup would have been South Carolina versus LSU. That wouldn't have been a good matchup for LSU. I knew that if they got Iowa, that it was going to be a matchup problem. You know what I'm saying? Down low.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because of they got them bigs in trouble. And that's the key to the victory. All the shots were she made all them shots. What can you do? She might have scored 30, but the other girl might didn't have to score 30. It was a team effort.
Yeah.
And that's what wins the game. It's not one player scoring 30 points, but they got beat by like 17 points. I mean, I knew they were going to win. I didn't think they was going to beat them like that.
Yeah,
I was surprised to see that.
They made them bend the knee, man.
Yeah, they made them tap out. I was like, well, damn. I looked at that score. I said, is that real? I'm like, okay, I guess that coach lit a fire under they rear ends the night before right in that locker room because, but all in all, it was a good women's Final Four. It was a good overall. I enjoyed it. I don't watch a whole bunch of college basketball, but I do watch the women's. I started watching the tournament. I watch it when they play in the tournament. So I have watched some of these games, a few of them. So yeah, congratulations to LSU. That's all I can say.
Yes. And then we jumped on to the men's side. We had a nice little Final Four with San Diego State playing FAU, then UConn playing Miami. But that's another one. One game was a little more lopsided, the other one was a nail biter. So again, Architect, our resident little college hoopster. You know what I mean? What did you see in these here games?
Oh man, I'm gonna start off. I'm actually gonna start off with that Miami game, man. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be a little bit better than that. I thought Miami was gonna put up a little bit more of a fight. Looking at it all around, man, the team. I feel like it comes down to just better coaching, better players. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you look at it. UConn, I think had. Oh no, they only had two players score double digits, as well as Miami. But Miami, you know what I'm saying? They who's this guy? Wooga Poplar. Man went 0 for 7. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that, in a game where you're trying to go to the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Especially if you're a starter. I mean, or you're in the starting lineup, I should say. I'm not gonna say he's a starter because he only played 17 minutes. But even still, all around as a whole, you look at it, Miami shot 32% from the field, 35% from three. That's not gonna cut it, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at UConn on the other side, man. They looking more so. They shot damn near 50% from the field. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna do it every time.
Yeah.
But hey, man, shout out to UConn for doing their thing. UConn, if you look at it, they've always been kind of a basketball school, basketball kind of powerhouse. So good on them. But then, I'm gonna go to this one, you know what I'm saying? FAU, San Diego State. I knew this one was gonna be a good one because like you said, San Diego State plays a hell of a defense and FAU got them athletes. You know what I mean? It's funny because there was a meme going around like Charles Barkley when the final buzzer went off. He was throwing his hands up, going, "Yeah, yeah," he's like taking a deep breath and everything. And the caption was like, I can tell when somebody just want to bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Charles was like, I need San Diego to pull this one through. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, good game. FAU came out in the first half. You know what I'm saying? With the quickness. You know what I'm saying? Scoring 40 points in the first half. They looked like they were poised to win this thing. But second half, San Diego State locked in with that defense. You know what I'm saying? Started playing real hard and they squeezed this one by. If it was about 2-3 minutes left, man, you know what I'm saying? Might be looking at something different. But all in all, man, really, really good game. You want to talk about FAU leading scorer, what's his name? Elijah Martin. Man had 26.7 rebounds in 31 minutes, man. You know what I'm saying? And he shot really good. He shot 43% from three. He shot basically 54% from the field. Hey man, Florida Atlantic, you know what I'm saying, if they can retain some of their players, they get kind of put themselves on the map, you know what I'm saying, somewhere that you want to go, especially as far as like coaching and stuff like that. I think that this won't be the last we see of Florida Atlantic, at least in the NCAA tournament.
Okay. But Raider Bike, what do you think about the Final Four and the championship for the men?
Well, I mean, it's a good Final Four. There's just a lot of surprises in this whole men's tournament. None of them number ones. All of them got bumped off by these teams, and it was meant for Connecticut to win it. They said that somebody said that way back then, said Connecticut was going to win it. That they knew that they had, even though they lost some of them games because they locked down on their defense and that slows the game up, slow that other team down, they D them up, and that makes you shoot 32% from the field when you D somebody up constantly the whole game, and then the defense generates offense, and what can you say? I mean, the game. Well, let me not go to. No, I'm going to Connecticut first. Let me just finish that one up. But I knew that they was going to win that game. I mean, we knew they was going to win that game against Miami. I mean, I said Miami not going to win this game. Because Miami's thing is they score points. They score, and I said if they don't score any kind of missed shots, 30, like you said, 32% just says it all. They didn't have their best game. I mean, the reason why, because Connecticut's defense locked them down. That's bottom line about that. It ain't no excuses. They locked them down and they played better. I mean, I didn't see a whole bunch of that game either, but I seen enough of it, to know that, yeah, Connecticut, okay, but I ain't finna go too far on that one. But I told you guys, and I called it. I said San Diego State was going to be in the national championship. Y'all don't believe me. No, y'all do. Remember, I just said, I'm going to say I told you so this week because I told you so. Because I said if the game is close and tight, with that defense that they have, that they'll have a chance to win this game. And they won the game in the last seconds, but they handcuffed them on defense. I mean, they locked down. They locked them down. They locked them athletes down. I mean, it was a close game because anybody could have won. It was anybody's game. They just so happened to have the ball with the last couple of seconds in the game. So, anybody could have won that game. But I got to tip my hat off to San Diego State because I picked them. I said after the way all of this stuff just went, I said somebody's got to win it. One of these teams has to win it from the West Coast, getting to the national championships. There's somebody getting in, and it was San Diego. So I didn't. You can't sit up here and say neither one of us would have thought that they was going to be in it because we'd be lying. We'll all be liars because none of us picked them. I just started seeing as them building up all their momentum. That okay, I said, you know what? Everybody else out of here, shit. Why not them win? They done knocked off all them seeds. All four of these teams. So all these teams have nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, but I'm gonna tip my cap to San Diego, and hopefully, we'll talk about that if we're gonna talk about the winner of this game.
Yeah, well, after I get my little take, we'll go for our picks.
All right, well, that's it. I'm done. That's all I got.
Well, this is the thing, man. Like, I know San Diego State. The thing is, they're a defensive team. Like, this game with UConn is going to be right in their wheelhouse. You know what I mean? It's going to be one of them games where it's like, UConn, excuse me, UConn has a system. You know what I'm saying? They're coached by, what's his name? His brother, Bob Hurley's brother, Dan Hurley. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And they come from a coaching tree because their dad was like the best coach in like New York history high school, I believe. But so they come from the tree, systematic. You know what I mean? But then you got Brian Dutcher. He's off of that, what's his name, tree? Fisher. Remember Fisher led Michigan to the national championship? Yeah. Dutcher was his assistant for like 20 years. So we have two methodical coaches that are going to be coming into this game trying to impose a system. And San Diego State, man, where they have trouble against teams that can kind of not only have the system, but they have the athletes to go along with it. I know UConn got some size, they got some big boys or whatever, but San Diego State, they have the depth and they have not necessarily that gigantic size, but they got some big boys too. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a game where if it comes down to the wire, hey, it's going to be anybody's game to win. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't even give any props to the man that put San Diego State in the title game, Lamont Butler.
Butler, yeah, I was about to bring that up.
He hit that jumper every time running out, man. I'm sure that's the biggest shot of that young man's life. You know what I mean? So, hey, shout out to him. He did that. Yeah, the nuts didn't shrink up into his stomach during that time. He let him hang. So, got to get that man his dap. But I think this upcoming game, people are looking at it like, oh, UConn. Matter of fact, let me see something here and see.
UConn is minus 380.
But what's the spread?
Spread minus 7.5 for UConn.
God dang, that's big. That's basically, if you flip that over to football terms, that's like UConn minus 10.5. So they expect them to win by a touchdown and field goal, which is basically 2 threes and a 2-pointer. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, I don't think it's going to be that big. I could be wrong. I could be reading into this wrong because I'm not a college basketball expert, but I think it's going to be a little closer, man. And if it comes down to the last 3 minutes, if the game is within 1 or 2, it's anybody's game, because Hurley's a good coach and Dutcher, he's a good coach too. So, it ain't going to be, no lollipop gimmies nowhere in there. So if UConn can stretch it out and get a big lead, I say they win. And I don't see San Diego State stretching it out, getting a big lead. So You know, with that being said, I guess we can make our little picks for the game, this here game. I'll go first. I'll put it on the line. You know what? I'm calling for the upset, man. I'm calling for the upset, man. I think San Diego State, man, I think they're going to do it. You know what I mean? Dutcher, he's been waiting a long time for this here. You know, Hurley, he's a good coach. He's methodical. But I think he's going to get outwitted by the veterans. So, Raider Mike, what say you?
You know where I'm going. You know, I'm all in on them San Diego Aztecs to come on out here and come correct. Take this.
Okay.
I'm going to San Diego. I got to. West Side. This is West Side and it's mother right here.
Architect. We got an architect.
I mean, you know, it's crazy. This is really tough for me because if you look at it, the numbers, all the numbers are saying UConn is going to win. I'm talking about just from how many points per game they score and all that. Their last five, like if you look at the last five opponents between both two teams, San Diego State, they've been scratching and clawing just to get here.
UConn been smashed.
You know what I mean? UConn been on a roll, boy. You know what I mean? Like, I think the only game where San Diego State won kind of convincingly was when they played like Furman or something like that. But if you look at it, every other game has been, you know, pretty close. I'm talking 10 points or less type of thing. So saying that this is the big stage, you know what I'm saying? It's not they meeting in the middle. They're playing in Houston, you know what I'm saying? So you know what? I'm gonna roll with y'all on this one, man. I'm going San Diego State, man. I think the upset is coming. Plus, I can't, you know, I was watching ESPN the other day, I was watching ESPN today, and I saw Dick Vitale said UConn is going to bring home that 5th national championship, and I just can't roll with Dick Vitale, man. I can't.
So we all throwing up the W, huh?
Yeah, all throwing up the dub, man. You see me and goddamn.
4 fingers up and 2 twisted in the middle.
You did.
All right, man. I like it. So we're going to keep it pushing. Got more basketball. This time we're going to dip down to the younger cats. We're going to go with the McDonald's All-American game. And did either of you get a chance to watch that or check that out? They got a little Bronny in it.
I definitely did. They had a Page's son in there, a couple of NBA.
I saw that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They had a few of them. They had a few good ones in there, man.
Okay.
Couple of NBA ballers, son. College stars, son.
Okay, you've been leading it off. Let me go ahead. I'll lead this one off, man. I watched the game. I watched a lot of it. A lot was made of Bronny hitting his 5 threes. Kudos to him. But clearly the best players in the game. DJ Wagner, you know what I mean? Me and Michael, we old enough to watch. We watched his daddy play and his granddaddy play for Louisville.
Milt Wagner.
Milt. Say Milt is the grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And DeJuan is the son, and DJ, he's the third. And by the looks of it, DJ, he may give him a run for the money, be the best one out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's the truth, man. The boy could play, but he betrayed the family legacy. He's going to Kentucky. He ain't going to Louisville.
Yeah.
You know? But the dude that impressed me the most in this game, man, was Aaron Bradshaw. That dude, 7-footer, athletic, and can shoot the 3, going to Kentucky. That brother, man, he looks like when he finds himself, he might have a very, very bright future. He's not just an average 7-footer, man. I mean, you know, they building them different these days anyway. Them cats ain't sitting down on the blocks doing work. You know, you got to be basically almost like a 3. You got to be like Scottie Pippen or something like that if you're 7 feet. You know what I mean? You got to have the same skill set. You know, and very impressed with him and with Isaiah Collier. You know, he's 6'4" guard. He's going to USC. Matter of fact, he's trying to recruit Bronny to come out there with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's good too, man. He can play, although he kind of, let's not say choke. He faltered at the end of the game. I believe there's a point where he had a chance to get on the free throw line. If he had made his 2 free throws, they could have won. He missed both free throws, man. And as a point guard, you can't do that. But he has a pro body already for a point guard, man. well put together. He's fast. He's got a great future ahead of him. He's going to be all right. Elephant in the room was old Bronny. And looking at him play, you know what? I would say they'd be heaping a lot of let's see, there'll be a lot of pressure put on him to get into the league after 1 year of college or 1 year of G League or whatever. Because from what I saw, he's good, but he's not separated from the pack. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? Where you see somebody like DJ Wagner, Isaiah Collier, or Bradshaw, somebody like that, they look like they'll be able to separate themselves from the pack. And Bronny, I think if he goes to the league right after he plays 1 year of college or G League or whatever he decides to do, people are going to look at that like you only got in there because of your dad. You know, I can see that already because he's not even top 10 in that class from what I saw on the court. But the great thing, he was 5 of 5 from 3. You got to give him that. That man.
5 of 8. 5 of 8.
Yeah, okay, 5 of 8. He hit those 5 shots, and they looked good.
Mm-hmm.
They were smooth. You know, he made them. I give him that, man. But and it wasn't like no Steph Curry threes, like pushing the dude off, stepping back, and making them. He just had a wide open shot, boom, sank him. You know, I'll give him credit for that. But hopefully, if he gets some improvement between now and next year and all that, a year of college will do him well. But I think they're going to pressure him to be out a little sooner than he should because they want him to play a year with his dad, or his dad wants to play a year with him. But we'll see. I don't know. Raider Mike, what do you think, man?
Yeah, he's gonna go to the G League and he's gonna play with the King. That's that's what's gonna happen. He ain't going to college. I think he's just gonna go to the G League, and that's a waste of scholarship to me to go play for 1 year. To me, but they need to. That's another subject we need to talk about because they're not changing it, and it don't make sense. The sense that it makes. But we'll talk about that later. But I didn't watch that much of that game, so I can't comment too much on this All-American McDonald game. I only watched a couple of minutes of it, So those players, the Wagner guy, I've heard of him. I've heard about him, how good he was. He's good as advertised. So those guys are going to be 1 year and done. He's going to be 1 year and done in college. I can guarantee you that. So if he go to college or he go to G League, whatever it is, he one and done. And the Bradshaw dude one and done. It's just a couple of players going to be one and done. That's ready to go now. Now LeBron's son is, he's still, but who's to say he won't develop into the way he needs to? He's good, but those other guys are a little better, but doesn't mean nothing. He got that DNA in him. He still got his dad's DNA in him. He will get better.
What I say, Michael Jordan's sons had his DNA too.
But that's true. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, Craig. That's a lot of pressure right there. You talking about Michael Jordan and his son coming in to try to be as good as him? Nah, that's too much pressure, man. They had him.
Shit, Bronny got the same pressure right now.
He got it too. But I think he'll succeed. Though. He will succeed versus he's better than Jordan's kid. Jordan's kids were good, but they wasn't. Bronny is better, and I think that he'll succeed. It may take him some time to develop because he's gonna come after that 1 year. It may take him 2 years to really develop his game in the NBA, but I think he'll be okay. I think he'll develop into be a good player. He definitely will be good. He won't be as good as his dad. I don't think so, but that'll be hard. That's you're not going to be, that's just not going to happen.
He ain't going to be nowhere near as good as his dad.
No,
that's not even to say.
He's not even, no, he wants to work.
Honestly, I don't even think people are really trying to compare him like he's going to be as good as his dad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not possible.
Yeah.
He don't have to be better. He just needs to be as good as he can be.
Another one? Oh, Bryce.
Yeah. Bryce might go. Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the younger one, the other one.
Yeah.
See, he already what?
Because he already 6'7". He 6'7".
He like a freshman in high school. Yeah, so I'm about to say he
He
might
be
have
the one,
access.
though. He be just like Melo Ball and Alonzo Ball. The old Melo was just, even though
Mhm.
Alonzo has found his game now in balling in Chicago, but injuries. But yeah, that's how I feel. That's all I got to say about that. I don't want
Okay,
to hold
okay. Architect.
I like the game, man. I like the game all around. I like watching the McDonald's All American. Although for the last few years it's kind of been lackluster, I will say this year it was a little bit more competitive, at least on the defensive side. I'll say. Um, I like Ron Holland. You know what I mean? He plays with a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? He only had 11. He only had 11 points. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's
Oh,
going to. He's going to Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
not to interrupt, but we have a special listener listening to us. We won't say any names. So let's just say, Michael. He grew up with us, man. My first cousin, man. You know what I'm saying? And then Young G, your
Oh,
cousin too,
word.
man.
Oh, yeah. Word.
Hey,
Yep.
we ain't
Shout
saying
out to
no
you.
names.
Shout out to
Shout
you.
out, man.
Yeah,
Love
we
you,
ain't gonna say
cousin.
no names. There you
Oh,
go.
real?
Um,
Oh, that's cool.
what's it called? Yeah. I think Ron Holland. I think he's going to Texas. He's 6'8" dude. I think he's like 6'8", 195. He put a little bit more weight on. I think we're gonna see him playing, in the NBA one day. Another one I kind of looked at. I was kind of trying to kind of see what Peja Stojakovic is gonna look like. He didn't do too well. I mean, he shot 33%. You know what I'm saying? He had 5 points in 13 minutes. But it's a lot of talent out there, so it's kind of hard to try to find your shot when everybody's trying to showcase what they got going on. But the stroke looked nice, man. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he's paying attention to his dad shooting and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, he
Yeah, your
played for
soccer
the
team should
Compton.
be good.
He played for Compton Magic. That was his AAU team. You know what I'm saying?
Who?
He was Peja Stojakovic's son, Andre.
Oh, Compton Magic,
Yeah,
huh?
he played for the Compton Magic. Yeah, so he's 6'7", 185. If I'm not mistaken, Peja was what 6'10", something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I mean, he only 18 years old, so who's to say he won't grow any longer? He'll probably end up being a nice stretch for a good wing player somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Collier, dude, I like kind of how he wasn't afraid to kind of get his shot. You know what I mean? The same thing with DJ Wagner. Of course, I wanted to talk about Bronny James because I think Bronny James is one of those players like whether he goes to college for just 1 year or whatever. I feel like even when he gets to the NBA, because we all know he's going to get to the NBA, he's going to have all the tools. You know what I mean? You can tell he didn't just have everything handed to him. You know what I mean? He actually had to work for it. All his parents did was give him the tools, and he used his own drive, so to speak. I think the biggest thing that that's going to be held over his head is his name is LeBron James Jr. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's going to be his biggest critique, just because just the simple fact that he is a junior to arguably one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. You know what I mean? But I think he'll find his own way. I think he'll be fine. I mean, if you even look at it, man, I think he led the game in assists with I think he had like 4 or 5 or something like that, which isn't crazy. But to say, he kind of showed his diversity. It's kind of not necessarily, he can play the one or the two. He can kind of, you see his ability to shoot off the dribble or off the catch. It works out fairly well. Um, I think wherever he decides to go, which I think so far, I think he's going to end up going to college. I do, just because he wants to enjoy being a kid for at least a year. You
I
know what
think
I
so
mean?
too.
Um, whether that be USC, Ohio State, Duke, whatever, you know what I mean? Wherever he chooses to play his collegiate ball at, I think he's going to work out just fine. And then I think, honestly, if he continues to just, build up from what he's at now, I think he can be a lottery pick. Most likely he'll be a lottery pick because somebody, they'll be like, oh, maybe, his dad will come play with us because obviously he wants to play with him for a
Mm.
year. You know
Think
what I
so,
mean? But
huh?
I think so, honestly.
Mm.
Because if you look at it, honestly, there's been a lot of fucking top 5 picks who were just terrible. And Bronny James, I think with his dedication, at least to how he's been carrying himself, he's never really kind of been like, oh, well, I'm LeBron James' son, I'm gonna get what I want. You know what I mean? He's kind of just laid back, kind of been able to be himself or whatever. Shit, nobody even call him LeBron. You know what I mean? Everybody call him Bronny. So he's definitely building out his own lane. So I think going down the line, I think he'll end up being a lottery pick.
How tall is he? 6'4"?
6'3".
6'4", 6'3", 6'4".
He's listed as 6'3", man.
He's still growing though, right?
You know what I'm saying? He only 18. You know what I mean?
He's still growing. He's still growing though.
He could probably hit 6'4", 6'5".
I'll say he is 6'5".
I say he's gonna be 6'3", man. You know what I'm saying? He got that grown man body already. You know what I'm saying?
He kind of do.
When when they still growing, they kind of look like they a little awkward. He already got his yolks already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that also could be genetics, though. You feel what I'm saying? Because LeBron is his age.
That's genetic.
Like a grown ass man.
He looked like he had already been to the pen already.
but so did LeBron when he was 18. You feel what I'm saying?
LeBron's tall already, though. You know what I'm saying?
LeBron was 6'8". He was 6'8". You know,
so we gonna see, man. I mean, I hope the best for him, man. I would love to see that dude, jump by leaps and bounds and be able to play next to his pops and then, have a great career, everything. But sometimes I think we wishful thinking. We heap a lot on cats, and then when they don't match up to the expectations, then all of a sudden, they're a bust. They're freaking ain't shit because the daddy, you know what I mean? Just when you expect too much like that, and sometimes, man, it makes the guy, it's going to make his accomplishments not even look that good because he's going to play in the NBA.
Yeah. Oh,
he's going to make the league. You know what I'm saying? But, people expect him like, oh, he's going to be there in 1 year and play with his daddy and everything's going to be good. They're going to the playoffs. Yeah,
What I think is going to happen is obviously he's going to play with his dad. Wherever he goes, his dad is going to go play, right? But LeBron already confirmed that. I think for me, what's going to happen is LeBron's going to basically big up his son. You know what I mean? Kind of like he's playing with him. He's going to make him look so good. It's going to put the expectations even higher. You know what I mean? He's like, well, you did this with your dad. Can you do this with the other team? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I think that's kind of going to be the case where I think that's kind of not going to be his downfall, but that's going to be his biggest challenge. What are you going to do after you're not playing with your dad?
I hope so, man. I hope the best for that young man, We're going to move it right along, bro. So we're going to we staying with the basketball. We done hit NCAA, men's, women. We hit the high school. Now we jumping up to the big boys. But we want to talk about one team specifically. Sacramento. Oh, here come the Northern California Kings. Sacramento Kings. You know what I'm saying? Sacramento Kings. These cats is right now. Sacramento Kings. 47-31 and the number 3 seed. These dudes look good, Raider Mike, what you think about them Kings?
Well, I'm surprised. I knew that. I mean, look, Mike Brown brought their defense in them. That's all they was missing. They just needed some better coach and play defense because they got the athletes, they got the players, they got talent there. They just didn't know how to use the talent. Mike Brown came in there and made them play defense first, offense second, and it I think it really has worked out for them. I mean, they hadn't been to the playoffs since 2006. That's the last time they've been in the playoffs. Was that the Weber era? Was it still the Weber?
I believe so.
That's the Weber. Man, that's the Weber era and Peja Stojakovic and them, Mike Bibby and them.
Mike Bibby in the mix.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I got to tip my cap to them. I mean, I did not think that they would be no 3rd seed. I didn't even think they would make playoffs. I thought they would, be decent, but they sure proved me wrong. Because, I was calling, hey, you can't call them the Sacramento Queens. You got to call them the Sacramento Kings now. Because when my Lakers was doing work on them, shoot, I'm telling you, somebody got me so mad at me. I went to Burning House. The girl was a Kings fan, started cussing me out because I was talking about when Kobe dug up in the Kings. But now, I'm impressed though. I really am. Mike Brown should be the coach of the year, but I don't know if he's gonna get it. But he should get it. He just turned that team around. I mean, all the way around. They in front of the Lakers. They a higher ranked seed than the Lakers. The Warriors. Who did they take the third seed from? No, Memphis is number 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they got 3. Okay. Don't matter though, but I don't buy into all these seeds. You know what I'm saying? I'm not buying into none of that, but I'm buying into what Sacramento is doing. Though. I think they got something there. I mean, they got a bright future. They're gonna get better. You know, so I don't know if they're gonna be battling and with the Warriors like they was with the Lakers in a couple of years, but they just might. So that's
Okay.
about it.
Okay, architect. What you got on it, man?
Hey man, I've always kind of liked the Kings, especially since like the DeMarcus Cousins days. I've always thought the Kings were gonna do something, just because but just because honestly, just because they had good players, but they never had a good GM, never really had a good coach outside of what's it when Boogie was doing good, Mike Malone. Like this is just from me watching. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really watch basketball when they was playing the Lakers and all that stuff happened, and then back in '06, like I didn't really watch basketball like that. But I'm just talking about from the standpoint of where the Kings have kind of always been the lesser team, and they've had like good players here and there. But I feel like now, I like De'Aaron Fox. I think now you look at it as them trading away Tyrese Halliburton for Demonis Sabonis doesn't look so bad. You know what I mean? Demonis, he's doing what he's doing. He ain't quite like his daddy yet, but you know what I mean? He
He's
doing what he
good.
got to do. Yeah, he's good. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, he'll give you a double-double. But I really want to give all the credit to Mike Brown, because even if you look at it now, like I think Mike Brown, if I'm not mistaken, in LeBron's third or fourth season, he had them in the finals, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
When they played the Spurs, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, you look at it, Mike Brown, he's a hell of a coach. So that's what I got to chalk it up to, man. You got a hell of a coach, and you got a bunch of players who are hungry. You know what I mean? You look at a team like Sacramento, and then obviously you're gonna look at they don't really have a bunch of high profile, high name guys. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, I mentioned Sabonis. Who's the other one? And De'Aaron Fox. I would say those are their stars. You know what I mean? Not even superstars. And then after that, I mean,
Harrison Barnes still too. Huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They got Harrison Barnes, who's kind of like the elder statesman, who obviously won a championship with the Warriors, so he kind of has that experience. But other than that, man, you don't really have a lot of big name guys. You know what I mean? It's kind of like like a Cinderella story of almost. You know what I mean? But truth be told, I did not see them being the third seed. I thought Sacramento was going to, fight for a play-in spot. You know what I mean? But shit, even now I think they're only 2 games behind Memphis out of the damn second seed. So you know what I'm saying? So that could teeter-totter. Depending on who they play in the first round, man, they possibly can make it to the second. You know what I'm saying? We might be looking at a second round Sacramento Kings team or even beyond. I don't know, because this NBA season in the West has just been weird. But all in all, man, good to the Kings. I'm sure. I mean, low key, I kind of want the Warriors to drop to the 6th seed so they play each other.
The Warriors to drop to the 6th seed.
Yeah, because if they drop to the 6th seed, they play the Kings.
It's
it's not
gonna
really.
be after tonight they will be the 6th seed because they're losing.
No.
Because it's only a half a game separating the Warriors and the Clippers. Sac is gonna play one of 3 teams. They're gonna play either the Warriors, the Clippers, or the Lakers in the first round.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those 3.
I think, quite honestly, if they play, it's messed up. But if they play the Warriors or the Lakers, man, I think they get a first round exit. The Clippers, I don't know. You know what I mean? Depending on how the Clippers play, who shows up for the Clippers, you know what I mean? But I think that'll be a good one, man. Especially, I think the Kings would rather see the Warriors than the Lakers. Truth be told,
Why?
especially because without an Andrew Wiggins and the Lakers, they have a little
Wiggins
bit more.
Is going to be back, man. He'll be back.
I hope so.
He's going to be back.
But shit, I think that'll be a good one either way. Because I mean, if you look at it, one no time change, especially for the Warriors. That's only what Frisco and Sac. That's what, an hour and a half drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not even really. Although the Warriors may have like one of the worst, uh, away
Road
records,
records.
it's not going to be an away game. You know what I mean? At
Yeah,
least I wouldn't think so. So I think good on the Kings, man, but they got to play. They're going to end up playing one of these West Coast teams, man, in the same state. It's not going to end right. It's not going to end well for them. So that's why I think they need to go ahead and try and fight for that second seed, man. Because
yeah. Well, right now they're 2 games out of the second seed, so who knows? They might be able to get there. And then I don't know. They're very well balanced, bro. They
they
got
are
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes that average at least basically 12 points a game. You know what I mean? With Keegan Murray, he averages 11.9, but you got Sabonis at 19, De'Aaron Fox at 25, Harrison Barnes at 15, Herder at 15, and then Malik Monk at freaking 13. They just got dudes that can fill up the bucket, man. So no matter who they go against, it's going to be a playoff experience. But I think if they play a very experienced team like the Warriors or Lakers, I'm with you. I think they'll be out of there. And against the Clippers, you just don't know what you'll get. But if they have
exactly.
they have their full roster, they'll knock them out too.
Hey,
You know what I'm
yep.
saying? The Kings ain't got nobody who could deal with Kawhi Leonard, man. So, we gonna see, man. We gonna see. But either way, salute to them, man. Good job, Kings. Came out of nowhere. Now, can you keep it going? That's the whole thing. Got to keep it going. Next up, we're gonna talk a little XFL. Excuse me. Now, I'm not gonna lie about this topic. I'm not very well versed on the XFL because I can't get used to watching football that's not NCAA or NFL. But I like to do a little analytics. You know what I mean? If we talk about a subject, rather than fake the funk and pretend like I've been watching all these games, I'm gonna give you guys some numbers and I'm gonna let you guys go at it. So for the XFL, as far as me, I'm looking at it like, okay, I look at the records, you got the DC Defenders, they're 6-0. And then you have like 1, 2, 3 teams are 4-2, the Houston Rough Riders, St. Louis Battlehawks, and Seattle Sea Dragons. And there's more teams and all that, but let's not get to that. Let's get to the attendance. What I want to look at is the attendance of the games and how many people are watching these games. Now, the attendance from week 1 all the way through week 6, which they're at, it's kind of varied. It's been as low as 6,000 people at a game to the season high, which is like 38,000 that attended the game. So you go from like 1/4 of the stadium being filled to 3/4. Not bad, I guess, if you think about spring football, man. What can you say? It's not bad. But the big thing for me is who watches this shit. You know what I mean? When it's on TV, how many people are watching? And is it more coming in or is it less? How is it fluctuating? And one thing that stood out to me is when the game is on ABC, which is a primetime game, they get a lot more people watching. If it's on ABC, like week 1, they had the most. On ABC, they had 3.3 million watching, which is great. And on Fox in week 1, same week, they had 3.39 million watching the game. But then you go to week 6, which they're in, and you get from 750,000 to 1 million watching. You know what I mean? So you get 1/3 of the people who are still hanging in there watching these games. But then when the game is on ESPN or FX, it all depends on, which channel it's on then too. Because on ESPN, they get between about 250,000, maybe 300,000 people watching. And if it's a prime time, they may get 600,000 to 800,000 watching. On FX, it's lower, be like 500,000 to 600,000. So it looks like there is no niche group that watches these games yet. It fluctuates from who's playing and on what channel they're playing on. And for me, if I catch a game, if I watch a little bit, I may watch a series or two here or there. For me, man, I'm used to a higher level of football, man. You know what I mean? Even the college game, it moves faster. Because you have these guys, they're in a program. They've been practicing for the spring. It's rolling. They know what they're doing. And then this is the first year back of this league, right?
Yes.
Well, it was out for a couple of years and they brought it back. I think
That's what I'm saying. This is their first year back, though, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like it. You know what I'm saying? But then USFL is coming up. This will be their second year back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see if in the USFL, the speed of the game is a little faster and it looks a little better. You know what I mean? This game looks a little herky-jerky to me. Because, I ain't gonna lie, if I catch a game, one of these times, I'm gonna catch a game from start to end. Matter of fact, I know I'm gonna tune in more to playoffs and championship game, all that stuff. So for me, that's how, I've been watching or not watching, should I say. Brandon, Mike, what about you, man, when it comes to this here XFL?
Well, like I told you, it ain't nothing but NFL minor league, one of the like the G League or something like the basketball. I mean, I've watched 2 games. I ain't watched the whole game yet, but I've watched the first half of these games. I'm in the house and I'm watching. And yeah, it's gonna take a little time. I mean, it's not there yet because it's a different brand of football, the way that they play. And then, these players, I mean, they got a couple of good players. But dang, how's Josh Gordon in the XFL? He fell all the way off the whack, but he looked good over there. I mean, he's a man among boys over there. NFL. That guy.
Who does he play for? Which team does he play for?
Seattle, I think.
Does he play for the Houston It's not the Roughnecks.
No, I think he plays for Seattle.
He plays for Seattle.
The Sea Dragons, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
I gotta double check on that.
Yeah,
but
he plays for the Sea Dragons.
He don't play for the Roughnecks, though. Yeah, he plays for the Sea Dragons, but he is a name. That's the NFL caliber player. I'm like, why is he there? I see him in the USFL, but I couldn't believe that when I heard that name. I was like, what? I said, why is he in? He was in the NFL last year with the Kansas City Chiefs until we let him go. And now I don't know. I mean, he doing his job over there. He made it just catch the other day. Was it Friday that catch in the back of the end zone that went and he got his foot down. So I mean, he's still making plays. What I get out of it is, I mean, it's gonna take me a while to really warm up to either one of these ones, either USFL or the XFL, but I do think that it's a positive because the NFL may find a diamond in the rough from one of these leagues that can come in the NFL and who realizes, get a chance to showcase his skills, and maybe it's going to be a positive for some players. And that's
what the Cowboys did last year. Shit,
they got that Turpin
dude from the USFL, right?
Yeah, he made freaking all pro kick return shit.
That's the Turpin dude, right?
Yep.
And the fastest dude on the team.
Yep.
So yeah, well, I mean, you ain't gonna find a whole bunch of diamonds and jewels in there now. You may find one or two. You're gonna find a couple of them, but that's how I feel. I mean, I got to warm up a little bit more to it in the rules and how they play. I've been watching it, but not a whole game yet. But that's my take on it. I mean, but I think it's a positive. It is.
Okay. All right, Architect.
I like the idea of spring ball, especially if it's more so like, obviously for those super, super diehard football fans who just can't get enough. Me personally, when it comes to the XFL specifically, I kind of just watched the highlights. Even in like the first week, I didn't tune in to watch the game live or anything like that. It's nothing like I don't feel like the dire need to watch football year round. But for I like seeing some former NFL guys like for the Seattle Sea Dragons per se. Like we mentioned Josh Gordon, but their starting quarterback, former Cowboy Ben DiNucci. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like seeing stuff. I like seeing stuff like that because these guys, obviously, if they're in the NFL, they can play, but not everybody in the NFL is going to get that opportunity. So say that you have another opportunity to live out, play your dreams, whatever. Like the best team in the XFL right now, the DC Defenders. One of their quarterbacks, you know, he went to Miami. You remember De'Aaron King? He went to Houston. Remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he plays for the DC Defenders. You know what I'm saying? He's getting
Okay.
an opportunity, and I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, The Rock and like his little group that brought this back. I think they have a deal with the XFL, so like Raider Mike was saying, it almost is like a G League of sorts for the NFL. Which I think is cool. I think it's good. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's only 53 men to a roster plus the practice squad, so there's only so many. Spots that you can get on the NFL roster. So I think this is good for guys who are like, you know, trying to make an NFL team or at least want to live out their dream of playing on a professional quote unquote football team. So I think that's cool. But all in all, man, in their first season back, I should say, I expected the ratings not to be so great after week one because that's when all the hype dies down. You know what I mean? That's when you're gonna have your quote unquote diehard fans like, what's that movie with Keanu Reeves? Remember that Rollerball? You never seen that?
Oh,
Like
yeah, I think,
basically, it's like LL Cool J's in it or something like that, and all that. Like they just kind of like one of those leagues where it's like it's not the pros, but it's a little they hit a little harder. It's a little more aggressive. I think it's gonna be stuff like that. Also as far as like trying out new rules and all that stuff. I think that's gonna be what we see as far as these XFL teams or these other spring ball teams. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've never even watched a single game of the USFL. I didn't even know who Robert Turpin was until he put on the Cowboy jersey. You know what I mean? So, but I think it's good. I think it's good creating more opportunities for these players who obviously have dreams of playing professional football. So good on them. Oh, see, I just looked it up right now. Brett Hundley is the starting quarterback for the Vegas Vipers. You know what I mean?
oh, okay.
See what I'm saying? Like just stuff like that. These guys, I think it's a good mix for saying that guys who may or may not have had the opportunity or guys who feel like they still have something to offer a team, at least they get instead of sitting at home and not having anything, they have that tape. Like this is the tape. I can do a little something, whether that be against top talent or, you know what I mean, the guys that they bring into the XFL, which I really don't, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bottom line is hopefully if the football gets a little better, we'll be watching. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like G said. I agree with him 100%. I don't need to watch football all year round. I don't. Not all year.
They're trying to keep you entertained until it comes back. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I
Man?
know. Yeah, I do. I watch it, but I'll look in on it. Like I said, a quarter, two
As boring
quarters.
as baseball is, man, it suffices for me, man. You know what I'm saying?
It does. Yeah. Indeed. You know what I mean?
Some baseball too. I'm surprised. I watch the Phillies.
We're gonna have one quick topic, man. We ain't gonna go in too deep on this, man, but there's been a lot said lately. Cam Newton was saying there's no way in hell there's 32 quarterbacks better than him. Basically saying that he could be a starter on a team in the league right now. Just wanted to get everybody's take on this. For me, I'll start it off, get it in, get it out real quick. I don't see any teams letting him come in as the starter. It's just not going to happen because he has a big personality. When you just go over all the teams, it's like I don't see any team where I can see him landing and being that guy. But some teams where I looked at where I know at some point the starting quarterback is going to falter, where I think he could fit amongst one of these teams, I just wrote down a list. Now, the Buccaneers, they got freaking your boy over there.
Baker.
Baker. They got him starting. He's going to falter. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, if Cam wants to play, he can go there. Packers, we don't know what Jordan Love is going to be. You know what I'm saying? When Aaron Rodgers is out of there, they don't know what they're getting. Could be a possibility. Falcons, same thing with Desmond Ridder. He's going to falter at some point. He's a young guy. Do they want to see him struggle through, a whole season? And we'll see. The Giants, maybe. I mean, they just gave what's the name a lot of money. You know what I'm
Give him a
saying?
whole lot of
But
money for nothing.
same time, he will. Yeah, oh Danny Dimes, he will be faltering. Commanders don't know who the hell their quarterback's going to be. You don't know. You know, maybe he can get up in there and do something with them. You don't know. Seahawks, we know they just paid Geno, but
They're rocking with Geno. I don't think they take.
I mean, they're rocking with him,
do
but
that.
I'm just saying, you never know. Geno, we don't know if that was luck last year. We don't know if he's going to go back to old Geno. We don't know. Rams don't know what their quarterback situation really is. Stafford for now, but don't know. You know what I mean? It seems like he's halfway in, halfway out the game. And the last but not least, don't want this to happen, but I'm like, if this did happen, this could be a problem. 49ers, man. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
If he went there, you know, because they need minimal effort from a quarterback, and they need a guy who just won't turn the ball over, and a guy who could possibly stay healthy. If he went there, that could be a problem for the rest of the league. But again, it depends on Cam being humble. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't strike me. Just that statement he made, ain't 32 guys out there, man. I mean, I can't see him humbling himself and waiting in the cut to be a starter. That's it. Architect, what do you think?
I agree with you on the Niners thing. I feel like, you know, it seems like they go through a quarterback carousel for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, I don't know if his ego will allow him. Another team that really intrigued me was Miami Dolphins. Because obviously we know Tua's injury history. We don't know how many concussions, whatever. We know at some point it's messed up, but we know at some point Tua is probably going to get hurt. If Cam was willing to be patient enough, I feel like that's another offense where he could, you know, even with the weapons, the run game, the O-line, all that, like, he could do a little something. Well, I say there's 32 quarterbacks better than Cam Newton. I don't think so, because I think there's a couple of guys out there, i.e., like you said, the Niners situation, that I don't believe in Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. He gave me a small sample size. Daniel Jones, he's Daniel Jones. Like, even Tennessee, you know what I mean? Like, Tennessee, he really just, you know, hand that thing off to Derrick Henry and you know, let the ball roll. I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of what ifs when it comes to Cam Newton, because if you look at it, when he came back to, what team was it for? Carolina, right? Didn't Carolina come back?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm back, and then after that, what happened? Nothing. You know, you weren't back, Cameron. You weren't. Like, you know, I appreciate everything. You know, he was a hell of a quarterback. You know, I'm not going to knock him. He won an MVP. He led his team to a Super Bowl, all that. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, he took such a beating on his body, and if you look at it over the years, his throwing mechanics have honestly haven't gotten better. They've gotten worse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a matter of are there 32 quarterbacks better than you. To me, at least, it's a matter of there's 32 quarterbacks that I think that are probably healthier than you. You know, like that's what it is to me. I think there are 32 quarterbacks that are healthier than Cam Newton, who are going to be able to be on the field in 11, 12, 13, 14 games. And when it comes to the playoffs, they're going to be able to hold up to those beatings. I just don't think Cam Newton. I don't think Cam Newton's body can take them hits anymore, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I disagree with that to a certain degree, because I don't think it's affect the 32 quarterbacks healthier. I just think because when it comes to these franchises, you have to fit a certain mold. You know what I'm saying? Like, Baker Mayfield's not better. He's not better than Cam Newton.
Absolutely not.
Jordan Love's not better than him. Desmond Ritter's not better than him. Commanders, I don't know who the hell they're going to throw out there, but not better than him. 49ers don't have a quarterback better than him. And that's off top. And Titans, I didn't think about them. Tannehill's not better than him. So it's about 5 or 6 teams where, I mean, the statement he said is true. But, man,
it's true.
to the NFL, you got to play the damn game, man. It's more political.
Cam Newton reminds me of like you know how Chad Johnson always says, "Oh yeah, I played the game my way, no matter what." But like Cam Newton, that's kind of the road he's going down. I played the game my way, whatever. To a certain degree, Cam Newton kind of reminds me, like his mentality is kind of reminding me of T.O. Or T.O.'s like, "Nigga, I'm 50 years old and I can still ball out." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. But what say you, Raider Mike?
Well, I think the team that I think he could play for is the Colts. They don't have a quarterback. I forgot about the Indianapolis Colts. They just released Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had a great career, but is he better than Cam the way he looked at? I don't think so. I think
I just said the Colts because of Irsay, man.
I know about yeah, but I know he ain't going there.
Irsay said, "Fuck Lamar Jackson for asking for a fully
You're going to draft a quarterback, but Cam could come in there and help that team. I mean, I think he could. I think he's healthy as he's gonna get. He's right now. After he shouldn't be injury plagued now. He should be good. He should be fresh. He ain't played. So I just blame the NFL for Cam Newton being beat up. I mean, he never got the calls, and they wasn't ready for his brand of the style of football he played. They wasn't ready for his swag, and they didn't like it. That's part of the reason why he's not playing right now. They don't like his swag. I like it. I mean, as far as the way he played on the field and the things that he did on the field, I had no issues with how Cam Newton played and how he carried himself. Only thing, when he said the thing about the lady thing, in the NFL, that messed him up.
Yeah, that's true.
They took the deal from him. They took the yogurt deal from him. They took the cleat deal back from him. I mean, they just find reason. Once you do something, they're gonna take everything, right? So they just started invading it, took stuff from him. But I think he could still play. But the reason why I said no, because they're not used to that swag. They want the quarterback to just come in there and work hard and shut up.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's his personality. That's not his personality. And I just think the best team that fit him, I still think he could have go back to Carolina if they would Reich with a good enough coach with a good offensive system, go back to Carolina and he could groom that rookie that they gonna draft. You know what I'm saying? Really, to me, that's really the best for him.
Because like you said, he has that swag. They don't want nobody with swag training a rookie.
They don't want anybody with none of that. And Cam played the game the way he wanted. I loved it. I honestly was a Cam Newton fan. I liked the way he played when he was at the top of his game. But after they just let him get too beat up. The NFL did that on purpose. They did that on purpose because he didn't get the protection. He didn't get the calls. He didn't get none of that. That kick that he suffered against Denver that was just like that he should have kicked out of the game. You know how they disqualify these players and take them out of the games? That hit was criminal.
Yeah.
If you watched that Monday night game that I watched against Denver when he got hit by that safety, it was like helmet to helmet.
Yeah, I remember that.
Cam's clock. If Cam Newton wasn't 260, 255, 60 pounds, he'd have been out.
Yeah.
That's how strong this guy was. I mean, he came back and still played the game. Where's the call at? That's my issue with it. Is why those are the reasons why Cam is not super Cam the way he used to be. He just took too much punishment. And right now, I don't know. I don't think he'll get another chance, maybe and maybe not. But I would like to see him. I don't think he will. That's why I said no, because of what we just talked about. So I wish him well and wish him luck. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm a Cam Newton fan. I hope that he does, but I don't think that he will because of his personality, his ego.
Well, I'm predicting now he will be playing. He'll play in the NFL next year. In what circumstance, for who, I have no idea. But I think
it'll be a good one.
I think he'll get up in there.
He could play in Atlanta and start, like you said. He can go to Atlanta and start right now.
Yeah, but he's from Georgia, shit.
True.
Yeah, that's maybe where he's gonna go too, because he could play for Atlanta.
Yeah. What did you say? Quick question.
Quick question. Do you think Cam Newton's a Hall of Famer?
From his first Damn, that's kind of hard to say. His first,
I would
what
say
he
you had to think
did-
about it. You had to think about it. I already know your answer.
I think he got what 32,000 passing yards.
He got 32,000 yards. He got almost 33,000 passing yards. Almost.
It's the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Good, man.
Not
You
the
know
all
what I'm
good.
It's about the.
I'm gonna read you his career numbers real quick. I'm gonna read you his career numbers. He has a 59.9, so let's just call 60% completion percentage. 32,382 yards, 194 touchdowns to 123 interceptions. And his overall record win-loss is 75-68-1.
Nah, that's
Out of
not Hall of
100,
Fame.
out of 148 games, he's played 140. He started
Well,
100.
that ain't Hall of Fame numbers though. So yeah.
Yeah.
I wish he could put about 3 more years in that career and win a Super Bowl. Then he'd be the Hall of Fame.
Right.
All right, that was my only question.
Yes. Well, we shall see. Hopefully he'll play in the league next year. Until then, let you fellas sign off.
It's your boy Raider Mike signing out with the fist.
You know what I'm saying? It's the Buddy Allen Architect, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'll catch y'all next week.
Yes. Once again, it's the humble host, Big G, man. Remember, everybody hit that little thumbs up, like the video, put us up in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And